When you think about gameplay, how did you realize that the Rashomon effect or the unreliable nature of memory and how different people can have different memories of the same event, how did you know that that would play a major part in the game's mechanics?
The Rashomon effect is basically a concept that if different people live the same event, they won't remember it the same way, or they won't have the same perspectives on that same event that they witnessed. Your two characters, Tyler and Allison, they are connected by their unique ability to share as twins their memories. And you soon realize that they may not always be the same, they don't remember it the same way. The way they see these memories gives you the choice to decide in your investigation which one you're going to pursue. And the choices you will make will affect that relation. They can become closer or it can set them apart.
This is all wrong. Mom? Are you sure you want to go in there?
What were some of the challenges that you faced as part of the team creating this story and this gameplay mechanic?
This Rashomon effect, the places where the memories differ is one of the most interesting, but definitely one of the most challenging things that we had to do in approaching the story, because from that point forward, once you've made that choice, the version of the past that you're remembering goes on to affect all these future interactions that you have with people. And as in any choice-driven game, finding a way to respect these different versions of the truth, that's always a big storytelling puzzle.
Another challenge was due to the anti-mystic dimension of Tell Me Why. We still wanted to provide variety about settings the players will discover. So we built our design choosing specific, original and unique places. The challenge was particularly important with the Ronan house, the place where the twins grew up with Marianne. We needed to imagine a real replay value for this place because the player comes back there many times in the game and could see it also many times in flashbacks. So we try to make the player discover this house through different prisms.
You think there's a chance whoever buys it will just tear it down?
If someone buys it, they can do whatever they want with it.
You wouldn't care at all?
Would you?
Sure. Everywhere I look, I see a piece of one of our adventures.
We also try to show it through different emotional perspectives, depending at what moment of the story the player is. And we also try to imagine different type of path from a design point of view, and provide different interactions available and different type of cinematic content through the 3 chapters.
Another challenge, I would say, was the bond, their connection, because it's a very narrative mechanic, and we didn't want to put challenge, in that, because we want it to be accessible yet fun and also, engaging. But there are many ways to do, and I think we went into different loops of iterations and cycles to make sure that we had a very engaging mechanic, but also very accessible, because we don't want the players to be frustrated, not to be able, because of a challenge, to access like narrative content, So that was interesting to tackle as well.
Can you tell me what the Book of Goblins is and how it's used in Tell Me Why?
Sure, yeah. So the Book of Goblins is a collection of stories that Marianne, Allison, and Tyler all wrote together. And they range in just the completely silly to sometimes even the more serious, but they all have a tone that is very much in the Ronin version of folklore. We tried to strike a balance of something that felt like it was created by these real people and that it wasn't, pure realistic folklore, but that they were influenced by stories that they would have read.
Each story contains a kind of moral, such as in a fable. So for the children, it represents a rich fantasy world in which they can embody the heroes' figures, the goblins, and they are living a lot of exciting adventures, meeting a lot of funny, nice, gentle, or even threatening characters. We really wanted those puzzles to help and serve the narrative of the game, so they are progressive and they show little by little the Book of Goblin different level of reading.
Did the team have any specific inspirations from other books or games or movies or maybe even your previous titles that you drew upon?
I think the first reference I would give is a book from Gillian Flynn called Sharp Objects, and Sharp Object basically is the story of a girl in a small town, and she goes away when she's adult and never to come back. But she does come back to lead an investigation on a murder, and doing so she has to confront her family, confront all that past, and come to terms also with her past and all that. So I think that was very inspiring because we were just starting to write the story, and it was resonating with the themes we chose.
I know you want there to be something to find. Something that'll make it all make sense.
I need to know.